Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Friday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com. In the pre-market this morning, things are fairly quiet out there. We don't have any major economic numbers coming out this morning. We do have economic numbers coming out every day. I like to focus on the major ones that are coming out in the pre-market that could disturb the market. Now, we do get some interesting numbers on Friday after the market opens. We get Michigan consumer sentiment, which is a often quoted number. It'll be interesting to see how that looks. And then we get to also get the Baker Hughes rig count. And if you follow the energy sector closely, you know that the rig counts have been dropping dramatically over the past year. And here we are making a new low for rig counts in recent history. So the energy sector is getting smaller and smaller every day. Massive layoffs in some of the major U.S. energy companies as they are preparing for a recession and trying to get ahead of weakening demand for energy. And so that's what is going on there. And so it'll be interesting to see what the rig count looks like if it goes up or down on Friday. Now, on Friday mornings, I like to run off some weekly charts just to see where what's going on. My always biggest concern would be if, on Thursdays at Thursday's close, or if we're trading below the previous week's low, that's probably not a good thing going into the weekend. So we're certainly not seeing anything like that this week. Everybody seems to be fairly happy. We've got semiconductors up 3.63%. That's not a big deal. Remember, semiconductors is a much more volatile sector of the market compared to the major stock market indices. There are gold stocks up another 5.16% on the week, making new all-time highs. The Canadian market up a little less than the U.S. market this week, but even energy stocks participated this week, even though the energy commodities really haven't moved anywhere. And last up, we've got Canadian financials continuing to move higher. Looking at the VIX or the fear index, no change there. Inside day yesterday, still below the flypaper channel. And looking at who's in control for the major VIX ETFs, no change there whatsoever. So I'm looking at this and I do not see any indication that options traders in Chicago are overly concerned about the health of the market going into this weekend. Looking at the major index ETFs, there's the iShares for the TSX 60 making a new all-time high on the back of First Quantum. That was the big winner yesterday. The big loser on the day in percentage terms for the TSX 60 was Synovus, and Synovus is stuck here at the 23.44 level. We closed at 23.38 on Thursday. Looking at the Vanguard Canada ETF, the big winner yesterday was First Majestic Silver. What didn't work? Well, not too much damage here, but Vermilion was down on the day. It's still on a buy signal here, but this stock is broken at the moment. For a while there, things were looking pretty good. We were making higher highs and higher lows. And then we walked into the high from back in March and failed at that point. Since then, we've broken down below the flypaper channel. Now we're stuck in it. So we're looking at, the market from underneath the flypaper channel. And that usually tells us that the stock is going to get stuck. Looking at the U.S. market, and talk about the Dow. The Dow is the least important of the major indices, but it's the one the media is going to cover the most. It was up sharply yesterday. The big winner on the day was 3M. It's back on a buy signal as of Thursday's close. Boeing, second day of a sell signal for that stock, was the big loser. Looking at the S&P 500, new all-time high there. The big winner was Warner Brothers Discovery. And of course, this isn't that big of a stock compared to Nvidia, Apple, and the Magnificent Seven, but that is a huge move for any stock, up nearly 29% on the day. So congratulations, anyone long Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, Oracle pulled back yesterday after the big pop on Wednesday. That's often happens, and hopefully you took some money off the table at the open on Wednesday morning. Looking at the NASDAQ 100, there's a new all-time closing high there. The big winner on the day was actually Synopsys, which had the huge down day on Wednesday. So a little bit of a bounce there, dead cat bounce, I guess you would call it. And then somebody must have canceled their Netflix subscription on Wednesday, because on Thursday the stock rolled over and is back on a sell signal as of Thursday's close. Taking a look at the U.S. most actives and starting off with Opendoor. Well, that was a huge day for Opendoor. Congratulations, anyone long that stock. Nvidia still on a buy signal here, no change. Congratulations, anyone long Bitfarms at the moment. A nice big up move there for the last couple of days. Snap still on a sell signal, no change there. No change for American Airlines. Tesla making a new high for this move, heading towards 375. Neo still on a sell signal here, no change. New high for Grab Holdings, up over 4% on the day and closing above the high from back in July. Then looking at Denison Mines, new high for that stock, but it pulled back, and that is a bearish reversal day, but it did not close below the previous day's low. So we'll have to see if there's continued selling on Friday. Then looking at Big Bear AI, no change in trend there. No change in trend for Intel, still struggling at $25. Just a reminder, we've got $25 there, but it's really the weekly chart that we're more focused on. As you can see, Intel has taken a run at $25 several times over the past year and has not been able to hold gains above it. Moving on to the TSX most active, starting off with Canadian Natural Resources, still holding at the upper channel line, no change there. Bitfarms popped over the past 3 days, just like in the U.S. ARC Resources making a new low for this move on Thursday. No change for Whitecap. There's a new high for Pembina for this particular move. Then we've got TC Energy struggling up here at the 71.88 level. Look 2 lines up, that's $75. That's our next target on the weekly chart. Looking at Tourmaline, nice move up yesterday. You can see that if we look up 2 lines, that takes us up to the top of the open gap at 62.50. That would certainly be a nice run for Tourmaline at this time. Looking at Barrick, Barrick pulled back slightly yesterday, no major change there. Then looking at Baytech, inside day for that stock. And then Bank of Nova Scotia making a new closing high on Thursday. Let's finish off looking at commodities, and nothing going on in the crude oil market. You can see the pros are in control, but not really trending higher. On the other hand, we had natural gas come down and closed just below the lower channel line there. You might want to wait for another close below that before liquidating, but here we are with the pros giving up control at this time. Looking at what's going on with crude oil, it is stuck in the flypaper channel at the moment. And of course, natural gas has been trading from below the flypaper channel, and we were expecting it to act as resistance. This particular move, we haven't gotten that far just yet. And then looking at copper, copper moved up yesterday, still on a buy signal here. No change for gold, a small pullback yesterday. Then we had an inside day for platinum, no change in trend there. No change in trend for silver, closing up on the day. Then looking at bacon, bacon moved up yesterday, a new high for this move, heading towards the highs from back in June. Beef pulled back over the past few days. It's on a sell signal right now, but was up on Thursday. And then looking at coffee, coffee still trending higher here. It's been treading water for the past few days, but still closing above the upper channel line. And lumber still on a sell signal here. No change in trend for lumber coming into Friday's trading action. Last up, Bitcoin is back on a buy signal as of Thursday's close. Ethereum still treading water here. No change in trend for Ethereum. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. So far, it looks like we're going to have a fairly quiet open at 9:30 Friday morning. Have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Sunday. If you're a member, if you're not a member, we'll be back on Monday morning to look at what happened on Friday.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theyuptrend.com.